NCIS has been on the air for 20 years now, and with over 400 episodes, there have been quite a few cast changes. But did you know that some of them were because of super controversial stuff happening behind the scenes? Some of the most controversial moments in the entire show, when beloved characters left forever, were not originally planned. At least not until something happened behind the scenes. You won't believe the real reason why Abby was written off the show in 2018. Here are the most controversial NCIS scenes from the show. First up, we have an episode from way back in the second season of the show. Can you even remember that far back? Anyway, we're just going to talk about the season finale, which was pretty memorable. Basically, the team is busy investigating an incident where two Navy lieutenants were gunned down in their car. They think it's a professional hit because both hands on one of the lieutenants are missing. Pretty intense, huh? It gets even more interesting when Dinozzo discovers a bomb under the car, and it explodes close to the team. So Gibbs starts to think that someone might be after them specifically. Later on, Gibbs meets Ari Haswari, a double FBI agent with whom he's had issues before. Another FBI agent, Nell, calls to tell Gibbs about Ari's mission in the States. He and Director Morrow tell Gibbs that he and his team must not interfere with the mission. Okay, where's this going? Since Gibbs and Ari have a history, Director Morrow puts Gibbs under protective custody as a precaution.
I will now hand you over to our federally certified protective custody expert, Agent Todd. I hear she used to protect the president. You should be flattered.
As the investigation goes on, they discover that the workplace of one of the victims is missing a target drone. Gibbs is confident that Ari is behind the deaths and gets Nell to find him. This is where things start to get crazy. Ari's location shows the team that he's not a double agent. He's the one who runs the terrorist cell.
You're not paranoid. That bastard's Ari.
He's not looking for an Al-Qaeda cell.
Hell no. He's running it.
Crazy, right? It gets even more intense when the team faces attacks from even more terrorists. And the stolen drone is on top of the building, which, using the finger of the dead pilot, launches. The team is working at the speed of light to try to take these guys down. But then, the unthinkable happens. A terrorist ambushes them and shoots at Gibbs, but Todd jumps in front to protect him. She's wearing a bulletproof vest, so she's completely unharmed, and the team even cracks a few jokes. Dinozzo tells Todd that she did well, which clearly surprises her because she says, "Wow, I thought I'd die before I ever heard a compliment." But she's cut off when a lone bullet shoots her in the head, killing her instantly. At the time, this finale ending completely shocked fans as they weren't sure why Sasha Alexander's character, Todd, was suddenly killed off. There was an uproar among fans about the decision, with some feeling it was unjustified. But since it aired, we've got some behind-the-scenes insight into the decision to say goodbye to her character. Creator Donald P. Bellisario said that he was finishing up the script for the final episode of Season 2 when he was approached by Alexander with tears in her eyes. Apparently, the grind of working a network TV series was really getting to her. In her own words, "I just can't work this hard." Killing off her character didn't go over too well with the fans at the time, but it set Sasha Alexander free from the stress of filming the series. And after all, don't we only want actors to work if they're enjoying it? Moving on to another time an NCIS actor was definitely not having a good time. Remember when Abby almost died in an assassination attempt? Yeah, Season 15, Episode 21 ended on quite a cliffhanger.
You want to help me?
Look, just take it and go, yeah? You want to help me? Say it. You want to help me?
Yes, I want to help you.
You can't! Stop!
But let's start from the beginning, shall we? It all starts when Abby makes a reservation at a new restaurant that's really hard to get into, and she has to decide who will go with her. Eventually, she asks Reeves to come with her, because she was impressed with his charity work with homeless veterans. But the real twist comes at the end of the episode, and you are not ready for this cliffhanger. A mugger approaches Abby and Reeves in an alley after their dinner, pulling out a gun and demanding money. Reeves hands the man his wallet, but instead of offering up her purse, Abby offers to help him. And that's when a single gunshot sounds. The episode ends on that note, without us knowing who got shot. Yeah, fans had to wait until the next episode of the season, episode 22, to get answers. In the next episode, we find out that Reeves died from being shot, while Abby is in the hospital recovering from her injury. After her recovery and the recent trauma of the incident, Abby decides to retire from the NCIS and move to London to start a charity in Reeves's name. It was quite a bittersweet ending for both characters. Polly Perrette, who plays Abby, had been on the show since the two-part backdoor pilot, so naturally, the actress leaving the role left a lot of fans devastated. Not to mention, the loss of Reeves at the time was especially bittersweet. So why did these two actors leave the show? Well, two reasons. One just so happens to be one of the most controversial scandals in NCIS history. First, let's start with Reeves. Why did Dwayne Henry decide to let his character die? It couldn't have been an easy choice. He was only on the show for a few years. To put it simply, Henry was just really bored with his role on NCIS. Yeah, when he found out they were killing off his character, he was kind of relieved. It was a life changer, a game changer for me, he said about leaving the role. Basically, he said that a job like this required a lot of patience. Patience that he didn't have. Which is understandable. He wanted to branch out. There's nothing wrong with that. But what about fan favorite Perrette? Why did she leave? The answer may just blow your mind. Perrette's departure was the result of a long-standing feud between her and her co-star Mark Harmon. It all started when Harmon brought his dog, a pit bull, on set, and it bit one of the members of the show's crew. We never found out who it was, but the person allegedly needed 15 stitches. So obviously, this wasn't a minor injury. Apparently, Perrette and Harmon got into a few spats about it here and there. But eventually, the dog was brought back on set in Harmon's trailer. Perrette was fuming. She didn't think the dog should be on set if it had a history of hurting members of the crew. This apparently was the last straw. Their relationship was never the same, but we only found out about the final details years after the final Abby episode aired. Via her Twitter account, Perrette claimed in a series of vague tweets that, "I've been supporting anti-bullying programs forever. And now I know because it was me. If it's school or work that you're required to go to, it's horrifying. I left. Multiple physical assaults. I really get it now." Shockingly enough, these old tweets are the biggest and only hint we get that something sinister happened between the two co-stars. However, CBS did confirm that Perrette had once come to them with a workplace concern, but this is the only confirmation we've got. There are plenty more situations of actors wanting out of NCIS over the years for many different reasons. Whether it be new work opportunities, getting bored of the repetitive nature of the job, or more serious, actual workplace concerns. This show has seen them all. Which do you think is the most controversial? These were some of NCIS's most controversial scenes from the show, and the more disturbing reasons behind them.